Today is Saturday. I hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in today, guys. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new. Today's Saturday, like I said, you guys are probably going to see this video Sunday morning. And so Eric and I are stopping in today to invite you all to a Sunday brunch with us. However, if you have been following along over on Instagram, and I hope that you have, and if you have, thank you so very much. If so, then you guys know that we are just back from our very first cruise. And guys, we ate so much food, so much so that today for Sunday brunch, we're actually going to be Sunday juicing. So we are going to bring you guys along for our juicing, and we're gonna get into our thoughts on the cruise. On Instagram, I'd actually ask you guys to drop down, leave a comment somewhere over on the page, and let me know your thoughts on whether or not we were going to cruise again. Did we love it? Did we hate it? Have we already booked another cruise? Many of you left your comments. I'll pop up possibly kind of like a screenshot and share out some of your thoughts. Thank you so much for everyone who played along and again followed along over on Instagram while we were away. But before we get into all of the cruise talk, guys, let me share with you some of the things that we will be juicing over here today. First off, this is my juicer. Guys, we haven't been back all that long, maybe roughly a week, and I've already broken a juicer. So this is actually a new one. This one is, I believe, yeah, it's Hamilton Beach. I picked this up over on, of course, Amazon. So I will have it linked for you below. But over here is a look at the fruits and vegetables that I will be juicing today. We have some cucumbers. Everything has been washed and for the most part kind of sliced up. So we have some cucumbers, we have apples, we have lemons, we have limes, we have some mandarin, oranges, celery, there's some carrots there, and there's some ginger down in there somewhere. There's some more apples, and in just a second, I'm going to slice up this pineapple. We'll juice that also, and I think I want to do a grapefruit. I have already juiced some kale and spinach. I have that here. Let me grab Eric and have him come in. And yeah, like I said, he's going to be in here in the video with me today, kind of going over our thoughts on the cruise. All right, guys, Eric has joined us here in the kitchen in full cruise regalia, which would include, but not limited to, sunglasses, and a pretty vibrant shirt. You wore this shirt.
Yeah, this is from the UNFRUMPYMOMMYSTORE. Yeah, this will be linked below. This is my favorite vacation shirt. You guys have probably seen it in some of our other vacation vlogs. The Bob Marley tee for men and women will be linked below, as well as these sunglasses, which I really enjoy rocking on the cruise.
Yeah.
Right.
So you gonna keep that on the whole time?
I mean, I'm still in cruise mode. Like, I'm still mentally, I'm still on the cruise.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So I told them that we are fresh off the boat.
Yes.
And guys, I am out of frame grabbing my extension cord for this juicer, but I told them, you know, we are fresh off the cruise, and typically on Sundays here in Atlanta, it is all about waffles, French toast,
Just
mimosas, just all the brunch heavy foods.
Yeah, if you come from out of town and you're trying to eat brunch in Atlanta, make your reservations early, because you will not get in. This is like the brunch capital. Atlanta and probably LA and Miami. Yeah,
but I told them we're juicing because, you know, we ate a lot of things. We got back and I was quite heavy. However, I did tell them that I have lost almost 8 pounds. Almost 8 pounds, guys, since being back.
She looks great. Give her a round of applause. Now, I will say, don't lose too much weight. You know, I like a woman with a little meat on her bone, so you know, don't lose too much weight. But you look great. All jokes aside, you look great.
Guys, drop down, leave a comment. Let us know, please, if it's all ladies watching. When you're finished watching today's video, tip out and ask your spouse, your significant other, what do they prefer?
Now that's a loaded question.
A little thicker, a little more on the slim side.
Guys, answer honestly. Be honest. Right.
Yeah, what do you like?
Also let us know, you know, we're getting older, right? And it's like, we're trying to be responsible, right? We're not gonna eat right on vacations. Let's just keep it real. So what we try to do now is what you're doing. We tried to eat really good, really well the month before we left.
Yeah, we didn't eat out at all.
And we have pledged,
yeah,
we're gonna try to keep this, not to eat out from now until our next trip.
Okay.
In the fall.
Okay.
Early fall. So we're gonna try not to eat out. I think we ate out once. We ate at Chipotle once.
Yeah, we did. I just had to do it. I just had to do it.
Yeah, we're not eating out.
But so as you guys can see, I am chopping up the cucumbers. I'm gonna continue to chop up a lot of the veggies here. I shared with you guys the kale and the spinach. I wanted to go ahead and juice the kale and the spinach because it's really messy and it takes a long time. So that's what we have here. But yeah, back off the cruise, and we want to send a huge shout out to everyone who suggested we do a cruise. You guys, if you've been here, family members on the channel for a while, you guys know that, you know, we've gotten around a little bit. We've gotten around. But one of the last things we really had to do, we didn't have to do, but was, you know, left out there.
Bucket list
was to do a cruise. So thank you guys so very, very much.
And while we're talking about thank yous, I'm gonna come back to cruising in a minute. While we're talking about thank yous, why don't you talk a little bit about, because we talked about the Bob Marley tea. Why don't you talk a little bit about this Sade?
Oh my gosh, guys, I want to send a huge shout out, a really big thank you to Hazel R. Hi Hazel! Hazel has been a faithful member both here on the channel and in the store forever. I think Hazel has, my gosh, maybe about 7 or 8 orders under her belt.
And she said she purchased a lot of the teas for her friends.
She did. Yes. She did. She purchased a lot of the teas for her friends, and she said, Tan, you need to think about adding a Sade tea to the store. We know you have the Ladies of Stage.
Ladies of the Stage collection. You got Diana Ross, Mary J. Blige,
Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston,
Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Do we have Janet Jackson?
We
absolutely do have Janet Jackson.
So Sade was a great addition.
So I actually sent Hazel, she had placed an order a few days ago. Guys, the store is back open and running. We are completely restocked and some things have already been sold out. And we haven't even been open that long, so thank you guys so much. So when Hazel placed her most recent order, that's when she sent me the email over in the store suggesting that I do a Sade tea. So this is the newest tea in the store.
Yeah. And I have that album. I have this album. That's a great album. Best of Sade.
So I'm wearing it here, guys, in a large. I like for my teas to be a little bit more oversized. When the store originally opened, when I, you know, from conception, I think I started out wearing possibly an extra large. So I'm down to a large right now.
You're down to
but as you can see, it's still, you know, pretty roomy. I just love a larger tee. Not sure if you guys can see, I have on some biker shorts here today. These are actually the biker shorts from Amazon that come with the coordinating or matching tee. And I shared that with you guys. Well, we'll have it all linked below.
Yeah, that was another cruise favorite.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I like to have a little bit of a longer or larger tee, you know. Yeah. Thanks again, Hazel, for the suggestion for the tea. I hope you are enjoying your complimentary Sade tea. Just thank you so much. I really, like I said, with the cruise, you guys give so many great suggestions here on the channel, and you know, we just really love it.
And it wasn't just Hazel R. You guys support so much. You guys shout us out even when the store is closed. As soon as the store opened, we were bum rushed with orders. So it wasn't just Hazel R.
Y'all were waiting.
You guys were waiting. I want to shout out Gwen G, who's local, right here in Atlanta. Shout out to you, Gwen.
Hi, Gwen.
Nicole W from Burlington, New Jersey. Monica TH from Biloxi, Mississippi. Vanessa R from Charleston, South Carolina. And Teresa O from Lakeland, Florida. And
so is that everybody?
Well, that's not close to everybody. If we did everybody, we would be here all day.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna shout out a few of you guys. And for Teresa O in particular, she sent us a wonderful letter. She actually ordered before the store closed. So this was, you know, before we went on the cruise, sent us a wonderful email, I should say. So let me just read a little bit of what she wrote.
It was so nice. Thank you, Teresa.
Hello, I am writing to advise you of the many compliments my husband and I received while wearing our Black Marriages Matter t-shirts.
I'll pop up how the Black Marriages Matter tee looks.
We wore them when we visited Atlanta and surrounding cities last month for our nephew's wedding. We traveled from Florida, everywhere, and everywhere we went, we were asked where we got our t-shirts from, and everybody said they really liked our shirts. By the way, congratulations to her. Her and her husband have been married, it says here in the letter, for 36.5 years. Big applause.
Wow, wow. Congratulations, guys.
She says she was at a fast food restaurant. There was a guy who was waiting in line behind her. He asked her where she had gotten the shirts from. She gave him the store name. So shout out to her. She also said she brought the chocolate covered nurses t-shirt for a girlfriend for her birthday. It was a big hit for her at work. And they asked her girlfriend the same questions.
And what was the question?
Where did you get these shirts from? Now, she did say she supports us even though we're rattlers. So apparently she went to Bethune Cookman. Okay. So you know, not everybody can be a rattler.
You know.
So
you know,
we'll forgive that.
They try.
But shout out to Teresa and all of you that send us. We get so many emails of your support. They're always going to be also whenever you send us an email or tag us. It'll be on the reviews page on our website.
On the newsletter, over the newsletter.
Also in the newsletter as well.
Yeah,
yeah. On the newsletter as well. So, let's get into this cruising.
Let's go.
So, just a little bit of background. I don't know if you went into this detail.
Whatever.
We did it was the Oasis of the Seas.
Yeah,
right?
Oasis of the Seas, and
Royal
the actual
Caribbean.
ship was Symphony.
Yes.
It was the Symphony of the Seas
Oasis
ship
class.
with the brand Royal Caribbean, but it was an Oasis class ship.
Which are like the biggest ships literally in the world. It was a 7-night cruise out of Miami Port.
Yeah.
The Miami Cruise Port, 3 stops and 3 sea days.
Yes.
The three stops were St. Martin, the Virgin Islands, and Coco Cay. Okay.
Or Coco Cay.
Yeah, in the Bahamas. So, before we go any further, you want to do a drum roll and
how did we like it, guys? So many of you, like I said, and I hope I was able to put in like a screen capture of what you guys said over on Instagram. I asked you guys, because I put up, I think it was 2 reels. What do you think? Did we love it? Did we like it?
Thumbs down.
Are we already rebooked for another cruise?
Let's do it on the count of 3.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Loved it.
Hated it.
Terrible.
Did you really love it? I thought you had mixed feelings.
You know what? I'm gonna give my honest opinion. I love parts of it, and we'll get in. You want to get into the positives and negatives, and I'll tell them what I liked and what I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I know you'll chime in on what you didn't like.
However you want to do it, but guys, I hated it. I will never, ever, NEVA.
That's not true.
Yeah,
You like parts. No, I saw you smiling.
There were times when I did smile. There were times
you really enjoyed.
I really enjoyed it, but I didn't smile enough, and I didn't enjoy it enough for me to get on anybody else's cruise ship.
Well, before we get mired in your negativity,
right?
Because you're being real negative right now. Like, I don't like this negative energy.
Really?
Let me go through the positives.
All right.
So for all of you that are cruisers, let me go through the positives that I'm sure you guys will agree with, all you cruise vets.
You know what? Before Eric gets to his positives, let me go ahead and juice this little bunch right here, because this juicer is so loud, and then we will come back for his positives. So we're gonna pause for a slight little commercial break for you guys who are new here to the channel and you're like, what are they talking about? Teas and butters and all these types of things. Here is a slight little commercial break from today's sponsor, which is the Unfrumpy Mommy Store. What? It does make a lot.
Are you quite finished?
Almost. I got this and this.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Are you quite finished?
Almost.
This is a lot of work. So guys, she's doing the juicing thing. What I do it the quick way. This is a V8.
But
now I get the low sodium.
All right, because I was gonna say the V8s have a lot of.
It's got all the. I get low sodium. Now I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. This is nasty.
It is.
And it leaves a terrible taste in your mouth.
See,
but what you do is you chase it with orange juice, some good old-fashioned acidity. Not a lot, because orange juice has a lot of sugar. Do a shot of orange juice with the acidity. It'll wash this right up. I don't have time for this.
But babe.
And then you had to buy like $500 worth of fruit and vegetables.
But babe, I gave you some of this the other day, and you said it was good.
It was a little gingery. It was good.
All right, you know what? And I think I did put a little bit too much ginger in it, and I scaled back on the ginger for today. I did.
But shout out, you know, I appreciate you juicing. Be healthy out there, guys. Again, I do the low sodium V8s with a shot of orange juice, but shout out to you for being healthy.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to so this is kale and spinach, and then this is a mixture of cucumber, carrot, celery. I need to buy me some more of these little carafes. So I gotta mix it together so it'll all have
so you're still not
flavor. Yeah.
This is too, and then you gotta clean this whole.
Yeah, it is a lot.
But it is healthy. You know what? I will say this. This is not processed. The V8 probably does have a little, so you know, if you're really trying to be all natural, back to nature, especially with what we need to do after this cruise, detox a little bit. So speaking of cruises, let's go back to the topic at hand. You're being very negative. Let me be positive for just a moment.
Yellow.
You bought this one. Divide about that. Here, where you get this?
This was Trader Joe's.
But you could blame it on me.
It's probably really sweet though.
Like me.
No. Just do that. Yep, I can tell this is really good. Shall I taste it? A little dry. Oh, it's not sweet at all. Come on, Trader Joe's. Maybe it wasn't right. I will freeze these apples that I have left here. All right, and I will use these later in the week in a smoothie. But what I want to do now is what I need ideally is a huge container for all of the juice to go in at one time.
You know what? Now that you started juicing, you're gonna have to up your container game. See, I don't think you thought about the containers.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I didn't think about
the container game.
Yeah. The containers need to be larger so that I can, you know, put everything in one container and shake it up so that all the flavors will be there. Let
us know in the comments. Obviously, I am team store-bought juice. Now, of course, I realize when you buy juice in the store, you got to be careful because they will add a lot of sugar and sometimes salt. That's why I get the V8, but there are a lot of smoothie type drinks that you can find in the grocery store. Let us know in the comments, are you team juicing or are you team, I'm just gonna go to the store and get the healthiest juice I can find. There are a lot of juice bars too. A lot of stores will have like a juice bar.
Like right now, y'all are probably like, I'm just gonna get that V8 with Eric.
And then how long does it take to clean this?
Oh, it takes a minute.
Yeah.
It does take a minute.
But let's do a taste test.
Yeah.
Let's see. And the bar is pretty low because again, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you.
You like this color? Let me stir it up.
Yeah, that's an interesting color. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say V8 is that great. Now they do make more fruit-based V8s, but again, I'm trying to avoid the sugar. You got to be careful with juice. We all know this. You got to be real careful with juice. So let's see. How long? We're doing this around the trip. All right. How long are you going to do this based on our vacation schedule? In other words, are you still going to be doing this in November, December? Is this a lifestyle for you, or is this we just came off a cruise, we might be going somewhere in the fall, or is this a new lifestyle for you? Are you committed to this?
Well, here's the thing. The scale says ma'am, keep doing what you're doing. However, I am hungry all the time, all the day long. So, and I also know that, I don't know, I know this isn't realistic, right? I know that I'm going to have to, at some point, get something to chew on.
Oh, we got the glass straws?
That's right. So, I think what I'm going to do, like you do your V8s, what, like for one meal a day? You don't V8 all of it.
No, it's one meal replacement.
Right. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll have a juice, a fresh pressed juice as a meal replacement, and then I'll do maybe one solid meal, and it'll be a healthier meal option. You know, a really good fresh, healthy salad, or you know, maybe grilled chicken.
It's tough. Like juicing is one of those things I think a lot of us do. Like we're like, I'm gonna get healthy, and then you go juice for like a month, and then you're like, I'm tired of juicing. I want to go back to real food. It's tough. So let's see how long.
It's good. It's good. Now, had someone not been sweating over me, rushing me with their rushy eyes, I think I would have put more apple in here and also the grapefruit. But this is not bad.
It's not bad. It's better than the V8. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could use a little bit more sweetness.
But see, that's your problem. With all this sweet stuff, that's your problem. But the apples, some of them are super ripe. Some of them are like Galia apples. Some of them are Honey Crisp. So they would have added a lot of sweetness to this, but
it's not bad.
But yeah, I like it.
I do feel an energy boost too. I feel.
You did not.
I do know this one. Is there ginger in this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I put ginger in here. Ginger gives it a nice little kick.
All right.
But yeah, anyway, we're gonna get on to the cruise talk, and but this is a mess to clean up.
So guys, when we talk about the cruise, ignore her negativity. We all know my wife has some travel hang-ups that we're gonna talk about that can kind of preclude her having fun on the cruise. But
I think I did I tried. Would you say I tried?
So let's get into the positives. All right. First positive, the ship itself, amazing. Again, these are the largest cruise ships in the world. One of the reasons we didn't cruise for years is because, you know, if you go back even 10 years ago, right, cruise ships, they were small. The new classes of cruise ships, and I think all the cruise lines, they have bigger cruise ships. We bought all the Dramamine, the C-bands, and I kind of figured we wouldn't need them, but didn't need them at all. The cruise was so big, the ship was so, you never felt any motion. Getting on and off the ship for the excursions was very efficient. Never had to wait more than 5 or 10 minutes in line.
To that I say, the airlines need to go with a clipboard, pen and paper, and take notes. The airlines make it so difficult, especially when you're coming in and out of the country. Yeah,
customs. That's true.
The cruise line.
We were also worried.
Got that down.
Because when we left, the day before we left, Delta was, this is the season of Delta canceling flights. So we were like, we were smart enough to fly out the day before. We did not fly out the day of the cruise because we flew to Miami. So
So in case, I don't know if you've said this already while I was pressing my juice, but we did fly into Miami prior to the day before our cruise, and you know, spent a good 24 hours in Miami. We wanted to give ourselves enough time if we had to drive down, just in case
Delta. It's a 9-hour drive from Atlanta.
Just in case Delta canceled our flight.
But yeah, the cruise ship, we didn't even, there were times on the boat where you would forget if you were on the interior ship. Let me know in the comments, do you get offended if I say all you cruisers, boat? I keep saying boat, it's a boat.
I'm not even a cruiser, but I get offended when you say.
How's that offensive?
Because boat sounds.
That's too woke. Are we offending the cruise community now? Y'all offended?
Boat sounds like I handed y'all a couple of dollars and got on.
On the boat.
The ship means, to me, I hear dollar signs. It was expensive.
We're going to talk about that.
That's another reason.
We're going to talk about that now. I'm with you on that one. Amen.
My gosh, the nickel and dimes. Can y'all hear them? But go ahead.
A lot of times on the boat, we didn't feel like we were on the ship. If you were on the interior, the slides, they had the slides, 3 water slides, the Abyss slide, which was like a massive 10-story playground slide, were amazing. Central Park, there's a park inside of the ship, was amazing. I even did the casino a little bit. When you went down in the casino, it felt like you were in Vegas or Biloxi. I think I gambled like 20 bucks, but that was amazing. So no complaints there. I think the rooms, and again, one of the reasons we cruised.
What type of room did we have?
We had 2 adjoining rooms.
Yes.
I don't know, you booked it. Were they like specialized or were they just, I know they were exterior with a balcony. Anything other than that?
Right, so we had, you guys know Chase is home for the summer. Yay! So he's been out thrusting and thriving with us in these vacation streets. So we got 2 rooms, adjoining rooms, and I wanted to get an adjoining room. I wanted the rooms to be adjoining because when we were out on the balcony, both rooms did have a balcony. This was all of our first time as a family cruising. I wanted us to experience, when we came into port, when we saw different things out on the water, I wanted us to experience that as much as we could together as a family. So I wanted to, make sure.
So I'm up here laughing and shaking my head because that is true. But let's keep it real. Part of the reason you have to get a separate room is because you and Chase in hotels are like oil and water.
Well, here's the thing.
You guys cannot share the same room because your hotel habits are very different.
Okay, but Chase is like 7'35".
That's true, but I mean, we do that every day. Y'all can't share a hotel room.
Right. When
it doesn't work out.
When Chase
they butt heads.
When he was 10, we stopped sharing rooms.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Because
it doesn't work. They're very different. Their hotel behavior. Chase is very, 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 very comfortable.
Yes.
In hotels. You are very, 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 very not. I'm somewhere in the middle.
So to that, why don't you tell them about okay, so it was so 2 rooms adjoining, both had balconies. So we were exterior rooms with an ocean view.
And I will say the rooms were nice. Now for you, I know that's kind of a negative for you, but I will say it felt hotel-like. It's always going to be a cruise ship, but I think they did as good a job as they could with the space, but it still wasn't quite enough for you.
So on the cruise, you can request, not sure if you cruise, you already know this, right? The beds are actually 2 twin beds or somewhere between twin and a full bed pushed together. Several reasons why I told them to go ahead and separate the bed. Number 1, I would lose my mind if I woke up in the middle of the night and I was in that crack. Because I felt
Isn't that terrible, guys?
I felt
How you on a cruise with your husband and gotta have separate beds? Our stateroom attendant, the person that cleaned our room, probably was like, what's wrong with their marriage?
Probably.
Why are they in separate beds?
But the separate bed, guys, keeps me, Eric, come on, keep it real.
Oh, it's true. Oh, I have no complaints. Because I don't need you freaking out.
Because now, look, most places that we go to and, most hotels and places like that we stay in, we do have the same bed. But I have rules. You can't move.
Y'all see what I got to live with?
You cannot move. When you get in the bed, whatever that spot is in the bed, don't move.
You got better.
I have gotten better.
And we had the same bed in my Miami hotel. We were in the same bed.
Yeah,
and you were chill.
Yeah. So when it was just for this cruise. I just knew it was the 2 beds pushed together.
And the fact they were smaller and there was a crack.
Yeah, the crack. If I had gone in the crack, then I was probably gonna be overboard. So I told them to please separate the bed. And it just worked out for me that way. I protect your mental space, people.
Let me say this
too. Mental space.
For the people watching, my wife is she's not a germaphobe or claustrophobic or peoplephobic. And out in the real world, she's not like that. This only happens
on vacation.
It's totally different. And I'm not we don't love crowds. We're not. Not going out washing our hands, but it's not that you get extreme on vacations. It's only vacations. And day-to-day life,
see things on vacation that...
And we saw some things.
Even the most super sleuthy FBI type of individual will be like, how did you see...
What did you see at the buffet in Coco Cay? Go ahead.
Well... So we were Coco Cay. I love Coco Cay. Eric, we're gonna get back to your.
Yeah, that's a positive. We'll segue back.
We were at Coco Cay. Those of you who know about Coco Cay, you know that it's like an island buffet, private island buffet. Yeah. There was a little girl at the buffet over in the fruit section,
just picking through,
turning over the watermelon slices like this
with a bare hand.
With a bare hand, just turning over the watermelon slices. All right. Thankfully, there was a lady there who shared my spirit.
Your sensibilities.
My sensibilities. And she said, don't do that. Not with your hands. People, that's how germs spread. She said, you gotta use the tongs. Use those things right there, the tongs to pick up your fruit. So, needless to say, don't let me turn this over. Needless to say, I didn't have any fruit going forward. Because I don't know how many times she had been over there turning the fruit over.
So here's my version. And let me say this too. The cruise was very clean. The people were very clean for the most part. Everybody was using hand sanitizer, but we saw a few things. There was something with the girls on this trip. The little girls were just wilding out. I was on the elevator. You know, the elevators on the cruise ships are packed. I'm on the elevator with like, I don't know, 8 other people. These 2 little girls get on. The girls got
eight was a light.
Yeah,
that was light.
Plate full of lemon cookies. One of the cookies dropped on the ground. She picked it up, blew it, put it back on her plate. Like, it's still good. It was only on the floor for like, it's an elevator full of people.
No.
So, you know, her parents weren't with her.
No,
so.
but that isn't why I am now team no cruise.
Yeah, let me go to the positive before you turn all negative.
Okay.
All right, so I will say that sometimes we saw mostly children that weren't clean, but the cruise was very clean.
Yes.
The staff did a great job cleaning. Overall, I would say the second thing I liked about cruising was the friendly, attentive staff. The staff on the ship was great. The staff at the port was great. The people on the islands, all the people that we went on tours with and that directed the tour, all the people on the islands were very, very friendly. The fellow cruisers, there wasn't any drama. Nobody was fighting. It wasn't like a certain incident that happened a month ago where 60 people got in a fight on a cruise line that we're not going to name. Everybody was real friendly. Everybody was cool. Everybody was friendly. No incidences on a personal level with anybody. So that would be my second one. My third positive, again, this was our first time cruising. I will say this for you cruisers. Cruising can be a vibe. Like, I get it. Being on the ocean, obviously we've been on the ocean before, but being that far out into the ocean where you only see ocean, very relaxing and very spiritual.
Okay, so that part, I gotta say, I'm keeping it 100 with y'all today. The room, y'all. My hotel phobia is y'all.
Well, this is actually a new phobia because now you're talking. Go ahead.
No, that's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Cruising is a hotel room, basically. My hotel phobia is, y'all, it is, ooh. If you have a hotel phobia, like, and it's really bad, then you understand. It takes me a good 24, 32 hours to really get cozied up to the thought of being in a space that hundreds, maybe even thousands of people.
You shouldn't even think of it like that. That's the problem.
But those are the types of things I think of. How many people have been in this bathroom? How many people have slept in this bed?
It's too much.
What have they done in this bed?
Why are you thinking like that?
Right, but that's my mind. I don't think about that on the day-to-day. Anywho, y'all, I slept outside on the balcony.
You did.
The first night. I stayed out on the back. So first of all, I try to stay up as late as I can. When we're on vacation, more specifically this particular one, I didn't want to close my eyes until I knew, Lord God, I was exhausted.
Because you want a good solid sleep. You don't want.
I don't want to be thinking about things, and I have to sleep with headphones on.
And like relaxation music.
Yes. It's either rain or just really soft spa music. If you have a hotel phobia, I know you understand what I'm saying. The thought of me sleeping in that bed, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it that night. So I slept outside on the balcony. You don't know darkness until
that's the spiritual side of it.
You don't know darkness until you have slept or attempted to sleep outside on a ship's balcony.
Where you messed up was you fell asleep and then you woke back up. You know how you wake up sometimes and you don't know where you are? You have a deep sleep and then you didn't know where you are and you freaked out and then you saw the smoke from the ship. So you were like around 3:30, 3:45, I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. Up until then, because I think I went out on the balcony maybe 11 or so, and I was able to stay awake till around 3:30, something like that. And I was just looking at all the stars, I was looking at the constellations, even enjoyed looking at the distant ships. We were actually passing different islands. There were distant islands throughout the night. But somehow I fell asleep. And I opened my eyes at some point, and it was just like a wall of blackness. I mean, it was. You just didn't know where you were. You were confused.
There was no more sky.
The stars are probably.
I didn't
cloudy.
see any more stars. It was really pretty.
It's a different kind of darkness on the ocean.
It was no stars, and then it was like this smokiness. and so I was
smokestacks of the cruise.
Y'all, I was was out there with all my blankets.
You thought you were in a rapture or something?
And I gathered up my blankets. I was like, and I sat up in the chair, and I, you know, also on the balcony. It was a really nice balcony. They had loungers and things like that, so it was okay. And I always travel with extra blankets and stuff. So I opened my eyes, and I just started bringing everything closer to me, and I was like, Lord, is this it, God?
You're just on a cruise.
Is this it, God? I'm gonna die here on this balcony. Eric and they're in the bed, the door closed to the balcony, and I'm just like, oh God, what is this? It looked so freaky. I felt like I was in some horror movie. I was like, I felt like I was floating, like I was gonna be, it was bad. Yep. But somehow I gathered my senses, I gathered myself stuff up, and I, you know, kind of crawled back into the room, and there was no way I was gonna get up to the edge. I like slid to the back and made my way in. Eric and they're knocked out. And I was like, babe, I'm back inside.
And I was like, why are you telling me that?
It was 5 in the morning.
Knocked out sleep. Like, why are you telling me you're inside?
I needed somebody to tell.
Right, okay.
I needed somebody to be up with me.
Like, I knew you were on the balcony. Like, I didn't think you had fallen off the boat.
I needed comfort. I needed to know that I wasn't.
Yeah. I think probably when before you fell asleep, there was probably a little bit of light. And then when you woke up, it was total darkness. And you probably, again, deep sleep, you didn't know where you were.
There were stars.
Yeah.
I saw lights from the islands, the distant islands. There were other ships we had passed.
Yeah, and then it went.
And I felt kind of comfortable. But when I closed my eyes and fell asleep and opened them again, I was like,
I'm in a fog. Where am I?
But so we figured out a few days later it was the smoke from the ship.
Oh yeah, it was the smoke from the ship, and probably some of the dust from the Sahara. There was a little bit of both.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but despite again all negative. I found being on the water to be very spiritual. Like, it is a vibe. It's very different. I mean, we've flown into a lot of Caribbean islands. Flying in on a jet, I mean, it's pretty when you fly over. But cruising in very slowly into a port or sailing away, it is a very, it's a vibe. It feels more like an adventure and a voyage and a journey, like a field trip. It's a little bit more relaxing. So I do get kind of the vibe, that slow ocean movement that you get. Being out on the balcony is very relaxing. So I get that part of it. I get the relaxation part of it.
That was my last night sleeping out there, by the way.
Yes. I think the outings, for the most part.
What outings?
Well, so the excursions.
The excursions.
Yeah, when you pull into a port. So again, we had 3 sea days and 3 island days. Our 2 favorite islands were the Virgin Islands and Coco Cay, which is their private islands in the Bahamas. On the Virgin Islands, we didn't do a planned tour. We just took a taxi to Coco Beach. Had a great time.
Coco Beach is really nice.
Really nice. Really, and everybody on the island, we had to get a bunch of taxis and stuff. Super nice. The lady that fed us out at Coco Beach was super friendly.
Very developed. Home Depot. I want to say I saw a Target, can't remember, but it's a very, very nice. But then you guys know it's the U.S. Virgin Islands.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, the U.S. Virgin Islands is very well developed, very well taken care of. It's like being in Hawaii. Like, you're on an island, but you feel like you're in a state still. I will say St. Martin, which is, I think is French in the north and the Netherlands or the Dutch in the south. I feel like France and the Netherlands could do a better job of taking care of the island. Did you tell them that was one of our ports of call? Yeah, St. Martin. Yeah, I did say that. Okay. So I feel like beautiful island, great people. We did a planned bus tour on our island. Beautiful island. The people were great. We loved everybody on the tour. Everybody was super cool. We went to like a rum distillery and all that stuff. But I feel like France and the Netherlands could do a better job, better by the people of the island, by taking care of the island a little bit more, a little bit better. And
let me just go ahead and insert my review of St. Martin here, my part. Yeah. St. Martin, again, as Eric stated, it needs help. You know, they have been affected by the hurricane.
Yeah, she said that.
So that is an issue, and you can't hold that against them. That's just, you know, it was a natural disaster. However, we were told we were going to do the Dutch and the French side.
Right.
We got on our tour, which we paid for, and we were only able to do the Dutch side.
Because, and that goes back to our point, the bridge to the French side had broken down. It was like a drawbridge or something. And she said somebody had to fly from the Netherlands.
But you said what?
I saw on the map there's another way around. Yeah. But again, I think they colonized these islands and they're not taking care of them, right? So if you're not going to take care of the islands from way over 5,000 miles away in Europe, let the people give it to these people and let them be the master of their own fate. They need to put more money into the islands and do better by the people of St. Martin. But the Virgin Islands was awesome. Coco Cay was a highlight for you.
Yeah. Coco Cay, I could have stayed there 2 days.
Yeah.
Again, my negative here with Coco Cay, I know we're not at the negatives yet, but we didn't spend enough time there. How long were we there? Maybe a good 5-6 hours or so?
We got off the boat at 10. We came back at 5:30. It was, but 10, all right, you got off the boat at 10, but you need an hour to set up. Yeah, so probably 5 or 6 hours. Yeah. It went by fast.
We did have to wait. You guys know if you cruise, you have to wait in line a little bit to get off the ship.
Yeah.
And then there was another ship in port with us as well. It wasn't crowded by any means, let me just say that. But you know, you're not trying to run people over to get off of the, what is that thing you walk down?
The gangway.
Is that the gangway?
Yeah, that's the gangway.
Let us know. So yeah, but and then, you know, we ate, and you know, when you really get all of the pictures and things taken, when you've eaten, you're really trying to now just kind of sit and enjoy the island. But I felt by the time I had gotten comfortable, it was time to go.
Yeah.
We did rent like a cabana style type of bed situation.
We barely got to use it.
Barely got to use it.
Yeah.
We bought, it came with chairs, a cooler, and all this stuff. But we barely got to use it.
We actually spent the most time in St. Martin. I will say this, let me give a positive about St. Martin. We did a bus tour. They ran that bus tour very efficiently. They lined us up. They got us on the bus in like 15 minutes. That was very efficient. Sometimes bus tours, like we've done them in Paris and London and here in the States, they can be, but they were very well organized. But we spent the most time in St. Martin. I would have rather spent more time in Coco Cay. Yeah. So since we've segued to your favorite part, the negatives, let's go ahead and get negative. Let's talk about Coco Cay.
Like I said, I enjoyed Coco Cay. I just feel we could have spent more time there. The order of our itinerary was Miami, of course. From Miami, we were 2 days at sea to get to St. Martin. Those 2 sea days about took me out.
She didn't like the sea days.
Ooh.
You did great. The 3 island days, you were good because she's off the boat. She's out in nature and the water. It was the sea days that
the sea days about took me out. And one of the main reasons the sea days were just a negative for me was there wasn't enough to do. Prior to going and booking the cruise and, you know, boarding the cruise, I watched countless videos and everyone said, oh, there's so much to do. There's karaoke, there's this, there's that. Girl, 5 hours and I was bored.
So let's segue to the negatives. Let's talk about the people and what they're. This is kind of one of my negatives. I believe our cruise ships, or the Oasis class, or this class of cruise ships, holds 9,000 people. Our cruise had 6,000, so we were 2/3 full. I agree with you somewhat. The ship, it wasn't full, but it did feel crowded at times.
Right.
The architecture and design of the ship is amazing, but I do feel like they didn't utilize the space as well as they could have sometimes. For example, one of the things I wanted to do, they had like a bunch of trivia nights. I wanted to do the Star Wars trivia. Instead of having the Star Wars trivia in the huge aqua theater with the screens, and maybe you have a mobile app and you can do it on your phone and it pops up on the big movie screens in the aqua theater, they did it in this little bitty bar. It was standing room only. They handed out, I mean, it was literally, that's not an exact, it was standing room only. When I walked in, I had to stand. And you know, you guys know the times we're living in. You don't want to be on top of people in this day and age.
Right. And we were wearing our masks for the most part throughout the trip.
And they just handed out little golf pencils and little slips of paper, and you filled out the trip. I was like, this isn't a good use of space. Why didn't they do, the aqua theater was empty during the day. I was like, why didn't they do this in the theater? So it could get 2 people in at times. And I know that was a negative for you. Again, and generally speaking, in day-to-day life, we're not crowd phobic. But on a cruise ship, even a big cruise ship like this one that's only 2/3 full, I felt like you just couldn't get away from the crowds enough.
Yeah, so I felt right.
Yeah.
Because so we had the pulling out away from Miami, which took several hours, and then a whole 2 days dedicated to nothing but sea days. I felt, or I assumed, we were gonna have so much to do.
Put an asterisk. Like when you went to karaoke, that's something to do, but then we went to karaoke and it was
it's something to do for the first 30 people.
Yeah.
It's something to do for the first 30 people.
We watched a couple of people, we literally stood and watched a couple of people do karaoke from like the sidelines because we couldn't get a seat.
on the
almost
the promenade.
We're almost in the promenade because you couldn't get a seat.
So there, when people said, well, on the C days you're supposed to be doing this and you're doing that. No, we spent a lot of, Chase was in his room and Eric and I spent a lot of time sitting and walking around the track. We would sit in where they should have been holding
we worked
a lot of the activities. We worked out a lot on this cruise,
which I enjoyed. Yeah.
I guess if I hadn't worked out, because we utilized the gym and the track, which I didn't even think I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But guys, had we not worked out, well, first of all, I would have been 900 pounds when we got home. But then I would have lost my doggone mind. Yeah,
you spent a lot of time in the solarium. Now I killed the water slides. There are 3 water slides and there's this big playground-like slide called the Abyss. I killed that. I didn't zip line on the boat. So I would say this, if you're not, we're not crowd phobic, but we're not super crowd people. If you're not a crowds person, you're one of these people, I gotta be on an abandoned beach somewhere by myself or off in the woods camping. And we kind of knew that going in, but we felt like the ships were big enough now that it wouldn't affect you, but we were wrong.
I immediately noticed when we got on the ship that the ship wasn't big enough for me.
Wasn't big enough for the 2 of us.
I immediately noticed that. And again, this is the largest ship out there. The Oasis class of ship is the largest class of ship out there.
I will say on a positive, the restaurants never felt crowded. I will say that. I never felt crowded in a restaurant. Now,
well, wait.
I know I have a negative about the restaurants in a minute, but they never felt crowded. The restaurant was never crowded.
Day 1.
Well, that was boarding the ship. That was different. The windjammer at the top, that was because everybody was bored.
Day 1, I said, if it was just me here, these people got my money, they could have it. If we were still docked in Miami, if we were still docked in Miami and I was there on that cruise by myself and I could go grab my luggage, y'all can keep this money, but I'm off. That windjammer also about took me out.
First of all, everybody knows when you take a vacation, a lot of times, especially if it's somewhere you've never been, the first day is rough. You know what we should have done though? I figured it out later in the cruise. We should have gone to the we didn't know. The first day is because you don't know.
We should have gone downstairs to Sorrento's or made a reservation somewhere else and eaten there. Then it wouldn't have been
I mean, it would be like going to Disney World and going to Magic Kingdom on your first day and it's a Saturday. You're going to think Orlando is trash.
And then another negative, the food wasn't good. And you know how I gained all the way eating cookies? Eating cookies, and they were just really elevated granola bars. They were these coconut cookies. If you've been on Royal Caribbean, I don't know if this is something they have throughout the ship, but I felt too, for the price, the money that we paid, the food in the windjammer, the solarium,
so let me segue into
the quality of food was not good.
My second negative, slightly negative, I'm not as negative as you, I do think the food, let me say this. The food wasn't awful, but the thing is, for 7 days, it got real repetitive.
Very repetitive.
I think if it had been a 3-day cruise, it was
banquet food.
It was banquet cafeteria food. It was a little bit, I won't say it was cafeteria, it was banquet food. I will say, had it been a 3-day cruise, I think we'd have been fine. But 7 days, eating that same food over and over again. And we didn't, I'm gonna talk about the money in a minute.
The highlight of the
We didn't want to pay for the other restaurants.
The highlight of the food was Coco Cay. And let me say this, of course we could have paid for the chops and
but those get mixed reviews.
Jamie, the Italian restaurant. They got mixed reviews on YouTube.
Videos,
And so I was like, no, I'll figure it out with these other places, not knowing that they weren't going to be good. But so moving on.
I do have some negatives about the food. I'm a big dessert person, and they didn't really vary. I got tired of eating that chocolate little cake thing. I ate it like 7 nights, and I got tired of it. I felt like they could have varied up the dessert a little bit more. We got the drink package, not the alcoholic one, just the regular drink package.
One of you suggested, and well, several of you suggested, only one of y'all get it.
Thank you for all your suggestions, by the way.
Thank you.
We used a lot of y'all suggestions on this. Thank you. I got the
because for all 3 of us to get it, it would have been a waste.
Oh because I'm the one that drinks soda and juice mostly. You're a coffee person. Chase only drinks water. I will say the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines were broke a lot. Like they worked like 50% of the time, so that was kind of annoying. So the food, it was a mixed bag. And so we were talking about paying for food and the fact that we didn't pay for it. My third negative, y'all, cruises are expensive. First of all, you have this testing surcharge, and that's not really cruising's fault, but we all had to get tested before we left. It was $100 a piece. So we already out $300, and this was in Atlanta. Before we set foot on the cruise, we already out $300. If we'd have gone to Mexico, they don't require testing anymore. You don't need testing to come back. You don't need testing to go to Orlando. So we're already $300 short. I feel like, and this is where I'm going to start to get into the comparison part of the video. I feel like compared to, say, an XCARET in Mexico, that's a true all-inclusive, you get everything for free. And you just know when you go to XCARET, everything is free. If I go to Orlando, Disney and Universal, I know I'm paying for everything. With cruising, I feel like you're in this weird middle ground, right? A lot of the stuff you think should be free is not free. And I feel like they nickel and dime you just a little bit. For example, I thought the internet was way too high. The internet was like hundreds of dollars. I felt
we all got that one though.
And who isn't gonna get internet on a cruise when you got all that downtime? Like, you're gonna get internet. So that was hundreds. I think that was the thing we spent the most money on was internet. I think that was hundreds of dollars. Coco Cay, the zip line was $120. First of all, it wasn't that great. If I compare it to the zip line that's free at XCARET with the hotel and the theme park admission, because all that's included, it's free at XCARET. And you get like a 9 zip line tour through the jungle. It's amazing. You're like 10 stories up. Coco Cay had, in my mind, what was kind of a basic, you know, decent zip line, and it was $120 additional. Their water park was additional money. So I feel like cruising is expensive. Now, I will say this. Those of you that cruise a lot, I know when you do a vacation a bunch of times, you learn the tips and tricks to make it cheaper, right? When we go to Orlando, we know what to spend money on, what not to spend money on. We learn how to cut corners. So maybe it's just that we haven't learned how to cut corners yet. Let us know in the comments.
We're not gonna learn how to.
Well, we're not gonna learn. I don't think we have. And I'm gonna talk about it. Right. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But let us know in the comments how you cut costs. What do you spend money on? What should you not spend money? I don't feel like we spend a lot of money, but I feel like the stuff we spent money on, we had to. I will say a lot of people look like they were saving money by booking their next cruise while they were on the cruise. I think you could save a little bit of money by doing that. But
yeah, I just think overall, cruise, they nickel and dime you to death.
They do.
I mean, if you cruise, then you know it is a big chunk of money up front. I'm thinking the cruise is paid for.
We paid for so much stuff up front, and we still had to pay when we got there.
We spent $2,000 additional on the ship.
And we didn't buy a lot of stuff.
We didn't already pay what?
We did not buy a lot of stuff.
And we didn't buy a lot.
We didn't get an alcoholic drink package.
I don't have one Royal Caribbean souvenir.
No t-shirts.
Wait a minute.
That's the one souvenir.
This is the one
from the drink
souvenir we have.
Yeah.
Eric's baby blue or ocean blue cup from the drink package.
Yep.
Here's the other thing. This is my thing too. In today's times of, you know, the Panamera, should we be using the same cup over and over again? Where are we supposed to wash this?
Everybody did have to take a test 2 days beforehand. But yeah, were people really washing these out? Probably not. So I just compared it to, like, I said, all right, at least when you go to Disney or Orlando, you know you're just paying for everything. If you go to XCARET, you don't have to, like, you just leave your wallet in the room. I feel like cruising, you got to always ask people, is this free? Do I have to pay for this? Right. You just never know.
Right.
So let me give you my ranking. All right. So as of late, we've had a lot of XCARET videos. That's been our go-to place lately out of the country when we go overseas. I would say my XCARET experiences have either been on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Those vacations, the last 3 or 4 times we went, have been perfect. I would say my Disney experiences here of late have been maybe an 8 out of 10. Now, back in the day, it was a 10 out of 10, and we've been complaining a little bit about Orlando, what's going on out of Disney, but it's still good. Would you say Orlando and Disney is still for you a good 8 out of 10?
Yeah. Certain trips I'll give Orlando, and when we say Disney, we mean just
Orlando,
going to Orlando, and because we've been going there so much, guys, we now go and make our own little trip or experiences. We can go
off the beat path, and you can't do that on a cruise ship.
We can go to Orlando and not even do the theme parks. So for me, I can give Orlando / Disney, Universal sometimes 8, sometimes 9 out of 10.
What would you give XCARET?
XCARET 9 out of 10.
All right, I'm scared to ask this.
The cruise.
Don't do it.
What's yours? What's yours? What'd you give the cruise?
7 out of 10.
I think Chase gave it a 7 and 8 out of 10.
Don't do it.
She, me, her.
Don't do it.
She, me, her. 3, 4 out of 10, and it's that high. It is that high because of Coco Cay. Had we not gone to Coco Cay, y'all, I am with the most sincere heart. I say this. Day 1 of the cruise, I felt I'd made a mistake. It was so
I can see the
apparent
guilt
to me.
in your eyes. And I can tell, no, it's fun. I'm having fun. We had fun. We had amazing.
It was so apparent to me that for me, what I can take.
We created some great memories.
For what I can take as a person, I felt I'd made just a terrible mistake. For me, I feel as a family, and I said this to them, sitting in the Windjammer. I'm glad we're able to do this as a family. I see that you guys are having a great time over there, but I'm dying inside.
Right.
I'm dying inside. I said if I could go and get my luggage, y'all could keep every.
You couldn't get past some of your phobias.
Y'all keep
Although the cruise ships have gotten bigger and better, you
if they said this is the last call,
right,
for everybody who wants to change their mind for the cruise, right, we're gonna keep your money. But this is the last call. You can't give them thousands of dollars. I've been gathering up. I've been gathering up my luggage.
Don't believe.
And y'all could have kept it.
Don't believe any of this. You guys saw her Insta story. She was having a great time.
Those were the moments where you caught me.
That's what a vacation is. You're gonna have up times and downs. We had some really good
For me to say I'm giving the cruise a 3 or 4 out of 10, there was a lot of down times.
I think that's it. I think that's it for you. I think, picture it, you got 3 sea days, 3 island days. So the 3 sea days are already a wrap for you. So that's already you at 50%. You at 5 out of 10 right there. So
St. Martin was not it for me.
Right.
St. Martin was not it for me.
I enjoy St. Martin, but I understand. I wouldn't.
Y'all, what did we do at St. Martin?
The bus tour was great.
The bus tour? So when you do a bus tour, guys, as you guys know.
It was a double-decker bus tour.
It was a double-decker bus tour.
Like what you do in New York or Paris.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to get off and, you know, check out different things. We went to 2 liquor stores. We don't drink.
It was a rum thing. It was nice.
Is that liquor?
We went to that airport.
2 liquor stores.
If you Google St.
and
Martin,
a cheese store.
If you Google St. Martin, they have that beach by the airport where the planes fly right over your head. Now, unfortunately, there was no airplane track. There were like no planes landing.
The beach was lackluster. The beach was lackluster.
Yeah. It looks better in pictures.
St. Martin was a no for me. Moving on.
But the people were wonderful. This is not an indictment of St. Martin.
Not.
For example, let me say this too, because I don't want the smoke in the comments. We went to London and Paris a few years ago. We all like Paris. I like London.
I don't have to go back to London.
Her and Chase didn't like London. And y'all are you guys like Downton Abbey and The Crown. You guys like all that culture, but you guys weren't feeling London. I like London. But
I don't have to go back there.
Yeah.
Please don't come for us in the comments.
Vacationing.
No, but you're supposed to boo boo boo.
Vacationing is very personal. It's a personal experience. It's I like stuff you don't like and vice versa.
Yeah.
For me, it's a 7 out of 10, but because it's a 7 out of 10, I wouldn't go back because I can go to XCARET and it's a 8 or 9 out of 10. I can drive to Orlando and it's an 8 or 9 out of 10. I think for me also, if we had a port, and I think I may speak for you a little bit, if we had a port in Georgia, maybe a Savannah that we could drive to in 4 hours and do a 3-day cruise to Coco Cay and back on a big ship, I think that's something we could look into. But it's the fact we either got to drive 6 hours to Orlando or Central Florida, or drive or fly 9 hours to Orlando.
How many times was the flight delayed coming back home? And wait a minute, why come the AC in the Miami airport was
negative
on
60 degrees?
Was on Jupiter?
It was cold.
Y'all, it was cold. I had to go in the carry-on. Thank goodness I had put a pair of my pajamas in the carry-on and a robe, and that's how I was looking in the airport in Miami.
Yeah,
that was a lot. It was cold in there.
It was very hot.
But yeah, the flight was delayed.
Yeah.
How many times was the flight delayed?
I know what I was going to say. We can get to Cancun and XCARET faster than we can to Miami for a cruise. A flight from Atlanta to Cancun is only 2 hours, and then it takes an hour to get from the airport to XCARET. To get to Miami, we got to fly to Miami, which is almost the same length. We got to stay overnight.
How many times were we delayed?
We were delayed going and coming back.
Coming back,
we were delayed once going.
Delayed 3 times.
Yeah, we were delayed once going, or like a 30-minute delay. We were delayed by 2 hours coming back from the Miami port. So it's just a lot. Again, if you live in Florida and can drive or near a cruise port in general, Georgia doesn't have a cruise. I think Charleston has one, but Georgia doesn't have one. So yeah, I wouldn't. If I didn't know anything about XCARET and I didn't know anything about Disney and I didn't have the ball and chain now, who doesn't want to do it, I could do it again. It's a 7 out of 10, but for you, you know.
You said you could do it again. How? How many exceptions? How many things did you need?
Am I being a hypocrite?
That's a lot. That's a lot. So no, you can't do it. You wouldn't do it. That's too much, Eric. You're asking a whole lot.
I could maybe drive to Central Florida and catch a cruise out of Central Florida. I wouldn't
How
do Miami
long of a
again.
cruise would you do?
Right.
Would you do another 7-day? That's the other thing. We shouldn't have taken a 7-day cruise.
Yeah, that was our mistake.
But it was a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have done it.
Let us know in the comments, do you do cruises? If so, is there a certain length you prefer? The other thing I will say about cruising too, I get cruising if you're with a large group.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of people that brought like the whole family or whatever, a lot of big groups. And they like on the sea days, they were playing cards and they were all at the pool together. That's another thing too. We didn't see the pool. The pool was standing room only. So,
the
and
pool
again,
was
we were on
as
that
big as this island.
It was, yeah. And it was,
They had 2 pools as big as this island.
3, yeah, 2 flow riders, but
All right, maybe 3.
yeah, but it was standing room only. So I think if you come with it, we saw people playing cards with their family and stuff. So I think also if you come with a large group, it can be fun.
What about the hot tub before we leave?
The hot tub wasn't bad.
Do y'all see how murky this is? Do y'all see that? I know that's what that hot tub water was like.
The first few days of the trip, the hot tub wasn't crowded, but by the time you got on the tail end of the trip, the hot tub, it was like
mid-trip. It was mid-trip.
It was like you were standing like this.
And I mean, so if the hot tub, it was a circle, there's an outer area of the circle filled, and they just continued to fill it in, so much so that they were facing each other.
Yeah.
They didn't even care. Everybody was like this. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I just could not.
And let me also say this about vacations. It's very personal. Some vacations are one and done. I'm sure you've all been on vacations. You went there once. I don't have to go back. I went to Vegas or New York or Dubai or Tokyo or the Bahamas or wherever. It's like I went, or Orlando. I went once to Orlando. It was 100 degrees and humid in the Magic Kingdom, and I'll never have to go again. For us, I think it was one of these one and done vacations. So, but let us know what you think in the comments.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's brunch with Eric and I. You guys will have to drop down, leave a comment, let us know what you think about today's video. We will possibly be coming back to you guys on next Sunday for another brunch.
And next time we'll do V8 instead of this.
We will not be doing V8. I don't even know if we'll be juicing. Maybe next time we'll have waffles or something. Probably not.
Oh, we're going in a total other direction.
No, probably not. Maybe oatmeal. Maybe oatmeal. All right, but let us know if you are a fan of cruising. Come on, guys. We got to be 100. Let's keep it honest. Was there any validity into anything that we said today? Do you find fault with some of the stuff that happens on a cruise, but you go because you love it so much anyway? I would say we're kind of like that with Disney.
Yeah,
we find fault. Perfect.
Oh no, we've done videos about it here recently. Yeah, but we still go.
Yeah, so maybe you guys are that way with your cruising. You guys will have to drop down, leave a comment, let us know if you have a cruise coming up.
Good luck. Have fun.
Good luck.
Don't go with somebody like this. Don't take her.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.